Have you ever wondered why some people with the same title lead with influence, while others only manage tasks? In today's episode, Leadership versus Management, the 5 core differences. Every new leader must understand, we're breaking down the 5 core differences between leadership and management, so you can shift your mindset, elevate your presence, and start operating at the level your position and your people truly deserve. Every new leader must understand there is a moment in every emerging leader's journey when something becomes unmistakably clear. You can manage tasks and still not be leading. You can oversee work and still not be operating at a leadership level. You can get things done and still never activate the full potential of the people around you. Most people enter leadership roles because they were strong performers, reliable workers, or capable specialists. That's how promotions usually happen. Someone sees you doing great work and decides you should lead others who do similar work. But here's the uncomfortable but liberating truth. The skills that make you an excellent performer are not the same skills that make you an excellent leader. And if you try to lead people using the same mindset you use to manage your own tasks, you will feel frustrated, overwhelmed, misunderstood, ignored, unprepared, and constantly stretched. Not because you're not leader material, but because no one ever taught you the difference between leadership and management. Let's make it plain. Management is about handling complexity. Leadership is about creating clarity. Management is about process. Leadership is about people. Management controls the work. Leadership elevates the work. One is not better than the other. Both are necessary, but they serve 2 very different purposes. And the fastest way to strengthen your career, your credibility, and your confidence is to understand the difference. If you're like most early-stage leaders, you were taught Management 101, but never taught what it means to think, act, and show up like a leader. Today, that changes. We're breaking down 5 core differences, not the kind you see in textbooks, but the real-world, mindset-level, identity-shifting differences that affect how people experience you every single day. If you've ever wondered, am I leading right now, or am I managing? This episode will give you the clarity you've been missing. Let's begin. Difference number 5. Managers focus on tasks. Leaders focus on people. This is the foundational difference. Managers ask, what needs to get done? Leaders ask, who needs to grow, and what environment helps them succeed? Managers protect workflow. Leaders develop capability. Managers ensure the job gets done. Leaders ensure the team gets stronger. Managers look at responsibilities. Leaders look at potential. The truth. You can hit every deadline and still fail as a leader if your people aren't growing under you. Most new leaders accidentally fall into task-first leadership, which looks like doing the work instead of delegating, fixing mistakes instead of teaching, checking quality instead of building capability, controlling outcomes instead of developing ownership, being the problem solver instead of building problem solvers. This style feels responsible, but it caps everyone's growth, including yours. Leaders shift their mindset from, I need to get this right, to I need to help others get better. Leaders see beyond the task in front of them and look at the person behind it. They ask, what strengths can I develop here? How can I help them think more independently? What opportunity will stretch them just the right amount? Who are they becoming as they work? Work is the tool. People are the focus. Your job isn't to do the work for them. Your job is to develop who they become through the work. That's leadership. Leadership mindset. Reflection. Where in your leadership are you focusing more on the task than the person doing the task? How can you shift from doing to developing this week? Difference number 4. Managers rely on authority. Leaders rely on influence. Managers say, do this because it's your job. Leaders say, let's do this because it matters. Managers depend on structure, roles, and instructions. Leaders depend on trust, clarity, and inspiration. Authority forces compliance. Influence creates commitment. A manager can make people do something. A leader can make people want to do something. And wanting is stronger than forcing. Every time. Here's how this difference shows up. A manager gets attendance. A leader gets engagement. A manager gets effort. A leader gets ownership. A manager gets the minimum. A leader gets the meaningful. Authority is positional. It comes from your title. Influence is relational. It comes from how you lead. And the people who rise fastest in leadership are the ones who learn. Influence beats authority. Always. Influence survives pressure. Influence survives turnover. Influence survives uncertainty. Influence survives the tough moments when titles aren't enough. How do you build it? Consistency, clarity, empathy, follow-through, honesty, presence, accountability, standards, identity. People don't follow authority. They follow leaders who show that they are worthy of being followed. Leadership is earned long before it is exercised. Leadership mindset, reflection. Do you depend more on your title or your influence to get people moving? What's one behavior you can adjust this week to deepen trust rather than demand compliance? Difference number 3. Managers solve problems. Leaders build problem solvers. This difference changes careers. Managers say, "Bring me the problem." Leaders say, "Bring me your thinking." Managers diagnose and fix. Leaders develop and elevate. When you are constantly solving problems for people, you become the bottleneck, the safety net, the fixer, the firefighter, the single point of failure, and your team becomes dependent on you instead of confident in themselves. But when you shift your approach, when you teach people how to think, not what to do, everything transforms. This is what leadership sounds like. What options have you considered? What does your gut say is the right direction? What outcome are you aiming for? What's the bigger impact you're seeing? What would you try if you weren't worried about making a mistake? You'll notice something profound. Most people already know the right answer. They just haven't been asked the right question. Leaders stop being the hero and start being the guide. They're not trying to prove their intelligence. They're building intelligence in others. When you build problem solvers instead of solving every problem yourself, you create ownership, empowerment, stronger thinking, higher capability, faster execution, deeper confidence. Leadership is not about removing obstacles from your team's path. It's about teaching them how to climb. Leadership mindset. Reflection. Are you solving problems that your people should be solving themselves? What question can you ask next time instead of giving the answer? Difference number 2. Managers control process. Leaders elevate purpose. Management is about precision. Leadership is about meaning. Managers ask, "How do we do this right?" Leaders ask, "Why does this matter?" Managers think in steps, sequences, and standards. Leaders think in vision, direction, and impact. Both are necessary, but only one inspires long-term commitment. Here's why purpose matters. People don't give their best effort because of instructions. They give their best effort because of meaning. They don't go the extra mile because of rules. They go because they understand the why behind the work. Purpose moves energy. Purpose creates alignment. Purpose activates effort. Purpose improves quality. Purpose strengthens resilience. Purpose builds loyalty. When people feel the reason, they elevate the result. Leaders make direction meaningful. Managers make execution repeatable. Both are valuable, but one touches the heart, not just the hands. Leadership is the emotional language of progress, and the quickest way to energize a team is to connect their task to something bigger than the task. You're not just asking for output, you're building identity. Leadership mindset. Reflection. Where can you connect your team's work to a deeper purpose this week? What message can you communicate that shifts effort into meaning? Difference number 1. Managers maintain systems. Leaders shape culture. This is the highest level difference, the one that separates good leaders from transformational leaders. Managers maintain order, structure, workflow, predictability, timeliness, process. Leaders shape beliefs, behaviors, standards, energy, identity, shared values, mindset. Managers maintain systems. Leaders shape culture, and culture is the ultimate multiplier of performance. It determines how people show up, how people take ownership, how people treat each other, how people communicate, how people handle adversity, how people respond when no one is watching. Systems are important, but culture decides whether those systems thrive or fail. Leaders don't just manage what people do, they shape who people become. When a leader consistently shows calm under pressure, responsibility over excuses, transparency over ego, humility over perfection, presence over panic, ownership over blame, standards over shortcuts. Then the team naturally absorbs those traits. Culture is caught, not taught. It spreads through proximity more than instruction. And this is the difference that defines your legacy. Managers manage the work. Leaders change the environment. Your culture is your leadership fingerprint, the invisible force that remains long after you've left the room. Leadership mindset. Reflection. What is one cultural shift you want to create on your team this month? What behavior of yours will start modeling that shift today? Leadership Mindset Challenge. This week, pick one difference between leadership and management that you want to strengthen. People over tasks, influence over authority, problem solvers over solutions, purpose over process, culture over systems. Choose one, practice it intentionally, and watch how quickly people's response to you begins to change. Ask yourself at the end of the week, where did I show up as a leader, not just a manager? Your identity will shift long before your title ever does. If this episode helped you understand the real difference between leadership and management, and gave you a clearer path toward becoming the leader you want to be, follow and subscribe to Leadership Mindset Daily. Then share it with someone else who's growing on their leadership journey. This is Leadership Mindset Daily. Mindset matters. Leadership matters. You matter. Follow Leadership Mindset Daily on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Threads, and X for your daily dose of proven leadership development tips, tricks, and techniques. See you tomorrow.